What's up guys, Darkdally here, playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, and today I want to do some more bullet drop tests. I want to hit a new rifle that I haven't done yet. I want to start doing some of the special rifles. These include ones you may unlock or purchase, and the reason is because I just recently got a really cool one, at least it looks cool. I want to test the bullet drop and see how it really does stack up against the other sniper rifles. The one I'm talking about is the Sr-1 Chameleon. I like the look of this rifle, I do, and I want to like it. I want to compare it against all the other sniper rifles in bullet drop, so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to continue to compare it against the regular Sr-1 and see how it stacks up. Of course, one thing I like about this is purely cosmetic, and it's the little moss and twigs and branches wrapped around it. I really like that, and I wish you could apply that to any rifle, just like you can put on ghillie suits. I wish you could do that with your rifles. So here we have one of the two sniper rifles that does come equipped with cool little ghillie wrap on it. Now, I'm going to compare this against the regular Sr-1, as I said. First, I want to go ahead and just test the bullet drop against the other sniper rifles. I'm going to go ahead and put on screen right now the ones we've tested so far in this series, including the HTI BDC. I've gone ahead and added that into the graphic, and as you can see, it's performed quite well in the bullet drop. Now, this Sr-1 here does not come with the T5XI, which is the scope I've tested all of these with. This comes with the TARS 101, and of course you cannot change the scope on this. That said, it may appear to alter its bullet drop. Now, of course, changing your scope won't affect bullet drop, but it can appear to because of where you're aiming. That said, it's completely immaterial because where it hits in the wall is where it hits, and this is the only scope we can point it with, right? You know, so there we have that. First thing I want to do is let's go ahead and let's level it up. I haven't really used it much, so let's level this up. This is always fun. I love leveling weapons all the way up to level 30. There we go. And as long as we're here, let's go ahead and, why not, guys? Let's grab our regular Sr-1. We will be testing these against one another. Let's go ahead and level this up to level 30 as well. I did have an excess in resources, so there we go. Voila, we got two level 30 rifles ready to go head-to-head. First, let's start off with the bullet drop. Okay, so first let's throw on the Chameleon down here. Here we go. Let's have a look, see how this looks. I really like the look of this. I've tried it with many ghillie suits, and it's pretty decent matching rifle to any environment. It looks snipery, I think. And what does that matter? Well, let's have a look at the parts. We're stuck with the TARS 101 scope, which is not bad optics whatsoever. In fact, I think it's pretty darn comparable to the T5XI. If you saw in my recent scopes video, the zoom on this, which goes to 5.5 times, is almost out of the zoom of the 6 times T5XI. I mean, it doesn't even look like it looks like basically the same zoom level, to be quite honest. Standard barrel, comes with a suppressor. It's only got the standard magazine stock, butt stock. So we're looking at, we're looking at a completely stock version of the Sr-1. Let's see how it stacks up. Let's see how it performs. First, I want to do the bullet drop. We're going to run it against all the other rifles. Now, as you noticed on the graphic, I'll go ahead and put that up again. I probably should have said this earlier, but here on the left side of the graphic, we have the rifles modded. On the right side is those rifles stock. Now, of course, the BDC, and now we're testing the Sr-1 Chameleon. We're moving into ones that we can't modify, so I'm going to put them on the graph and probably put a star or something by them because they can only be used as they are. So we'll be able to compare the bullet drop of the Sr-1 Chameleon here against the stock and the modded regular Sr-1, see how they stack up. Of course, we've been doing these here at Villa Verde at the airport at 350 meters, so that's what we're going to be doing. Did my guys just ignore a direct order? Guys, over there. Over there. There we go. I must not have hit it correctly the first time. All right, let's go ahead and see where the Sr-1 hits. Suppressor is not going to affect bullet drop, but I have gone ahead and cleared that base up there, so let's go ahead and take off the suppressor. It's only going to affect the bullet travel time, but you gotta love the sound of a good rifle. Now, this TARS could affect, where it hits on the wall because it's a different scope than the T5XI. It affects my perception of my target, so it could cause me, in other words, to aim a little high or a little low. In the end, it doesn't matter. As I said, where it hits is where it hits. Let's go ahead and wait for my breath and see where this hits at 350 meters. I'm really looking forward. I have not done this, so I don't know where it's going to be. I do not know what we're going to see. All right, so there we go right there. It looks like just below the middle of the 4th brick up from the bottom. Okay, so that does put it a little bit lower than the stock SR1 with all these same parts, which is always a little disappointing, but this is a weapon that you buy. I certainly would not expect it to be more powerful, you know, or more accurate than the stock SR1. Let's go ahead, let's fire a couple more shots. Let's re-sight in here. See what we get. These tests are usually pretty accurate. Just go ahead and just fire off this magazine here and not really worrying too much about my breath. Just kind of see what our margin for error is here in this test. And as you can see, this is why I generally only do these tests once. It's very accurate. At 350 meters, these sniper rifles are all pretty dead on. So that's a pretty accurate reading. Now, it definitely hits lower than the regular SR1, but it's hitting right with a lot of the other rifles. As long as we're right here, we've got both rifles, let's go ahead and throw the SR1 on. Now, this bullet drop series is not a comparison series. I do want to do a proper comparison of these two rifles as far as damage and other things goes. As I always say, bullet drop is just something that you adjust for. It doesn't necessarily mean one rifle's better than another, but who doesn't like a rifle with less bullet drop? It's easier to adjust when you aim, you know, right? Let's go ahead. Let's make this guy completely stock, including the scope. Because, I mean, if we're doing it for the sake of comparison, right? Let's reset all the parts back to stock. Except let's put the scope on so we can get a level playing field here. So, let's check our parts out. TARS 101, standard barrel, 5-round magazine. Not that that affects it. Stock butt stock. Everything is the same. Yep, we're good to go. So let's go ahead and let's test the SR1, the regular SR1, with the exact same parameters on the same target at the same range. If my compilation graphic was any guide, this should be almost one brick above where the SR1 Chameleon hit. I am expecting this to outperform it. I just want to get a, you know, a little guide here. That's the whole point of testing in the first place, right? Well, would you look at that? It actually hit in the exact same place. Now, you may ask, why is that? I'll tell you why. It's because of the scope, which tells us that technically the SR1 Chameleon is exactly on par with the regular SR1, unmodified, mind you, as far as bullet drop goes. The difference is a different scope will cause you to perceive the target in a different way. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know it, but I'll show you what I mean. Let's go ahead and let's throw on the T5XI scope. This is why I made sure to test all the rifles in this series with the T5XI. Okay, so here we are at the SR1 with the T5XI scope. Let's go ahead and hit this up. We should see this quite a bit higher. Now, I did just realize that I don't think I was firing at the 5.5 times magnification. I think I was firing at 4.5 times. I tested that in the scopes video, and it really didn't have an effect. If anything, it's the scope itself. For whatever reason, see, it does make it appear a little higher. And it's not the scope affecting it. It's simply the way the scope is showing the target. Let's go ahead. I'm going to move over to the side a little bit. I'm going to shoot over to the side just a hair with the SR1 Chameleon. I just like to be thorough here. So let's go ahead and throw the Chameleon back on and make sure that we zoom in. I don't think that's going to cause any change in its bullet grouping whatsoever. We got the Chameleon back. I just want to do this just to show you guys. Let's go ahead and, yeah, indeed, I hadn't gone to 5.5 times. It's kind of my bad. So let's just shoot a little bit to the left, but we're still going to line up. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to aim this, and then I'm just going to shift my character over to the left a little bit. Okay, and we are centered directly in the crosshair. We're just a little bit over to the left. And this should shoot right beside where it did. The zoom level of the scope really doesn't matter. I honestly don't really see a big difference. It just makes your field of view bigger, so why not always be zoomed in more with a sniper rifle? As you can see, it's shot directly beside the original shot group. See, there's our original shot group right there. It's shot right to the left of it. So, sure enough, the zoom level did not affect it. So, okay, so what did we learn today? So, the SR1 Chameleon, which we just tested, technically has the exact same bullet drop as a regular unmodified SR1. We can't modify this, so there's that. However, the T5XI scope and the TARS 101 portray the target a little bit differently. Maybe things are a little closer or farther. What I'm saying is, here's what I'm saying when I say a scope makes something appear different. I've said this before. This is my theory on this. The little box right there with the arrow in it, our target, is the same size no matter what our zoom level is. The T5XI zooms in 6 times, whereas this zooms in 5.5 times. It's a small, tiny difference. And so the target we're aiming at is always the same size, but what we're shooting is not, which may cause us to, without our knowledge, incidentally aim a little higher or a little lower because we're looking at the same size target against a different size background. If that makes any sense, that's my theory on it, because I really cannot see a scope affecting bullet drop. Regardless, there's the results of the test that we have today. The Sr-1 Chameleon has the same bullet drop, but because of the scope, you got to aim it a little different. But hey, if you're switching scopes, you got to aim a little different anyway because you've got a whole different set of mil dots to work with. That said, I hope you guys found this video conclusive or entertaining. We are going to continue with this. I want to do damage tests. I want to do more of this. This will be in a different series of videos because this series is all about just bullet drop. I do want to test the other aspects of the rifle. I do want to test damage and things like that of the Sr-1 Chameleon versus the regular Sr-1. We're going to go ahead and do that in a later video. Here I've only compared it to the stock Sr-1, but I'll put the graphic up one more time right before we end here. But I've got the bullet drop up there and you can see where the modded Sr-1 hit as well as all the other rifles. Bullet drop is just something you adjust for. It's just a number, but there you go, guys. All right, hope you enjoyed today's video. Tell me what you think in the comments below, what you want to see next, what more I could do. That's all good, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a real pleasure. My name is Darkdally. I will catch you guys next time.